Hi, this is Freya Nemeth of Otherworldly, and today we are, among other things, taking a look at the third shadow box from Death Row Designs. And I have to say that this time I'm a little out of my comfort zone. I don't really have much Second Life experience with this type of furniture, so I can't really say if it fills uh, a need or a niche, or if there's more stuff out there like it. But it's certainly very nicely made, and I'm going to give you a closer look very soon at the light version of this box to start with. As always, the shadow box comes in a light and a dark version, where they're sort of on the same theme, but one has kind of a little twist to it, a little bit of a darker twist. Some of them have had a little bit of a horror element, or a lot of a horror element, as in the case of the second Shadowbox Dark version, where there was quite bloody and you had your decapitated body in the bathtub and everything. This one is, well, I'll leave it until we get to it. We'll start off with the light version. And towards the end, I'm also going to go through the hair and the dress that I'm wearing, because both actually come with HUDs, so I thought I'd just do a quick showing of that as well, since I'm filming anyway. But we will let the shadow box contents play the starring role of the video. So like last time, I have set up beforehand rather than just doing an unboxing, because I think that with these you kind of get a better feel for what it's like. If I just, if I put it up like this rather than just rezzing it out. And what we have here is the explanation for why I said I was out of my comfort zone, because it is a children's room accessories and furnishings, basically. And I've never had any sort of child avatar or prim babies or anything like that in Second Life. I've barely played with dolls in my real life. It's not really been my thing at all. So, and I don't have any kids either, so I'm very much out of my comfort zone when it comes to kiddie things. However, this is all very prettily made, and in this particular lighting that I've got here, I love how this sort of soft romantic pink is coming through. So what we have here is, we can start with this item here. It is a child's bench. Love the lace detailing here on the pillow. The sizing, of course, is for more of a child avatar. I tried it out a little quickly, even if I'm short by at least old SL standards. I'm definitely too big for this bench. So it does come with some poses. Child appropriate, of course, and has a very nice sort of old time feel to it. You also get a rug, fits color wise, and then it's got a little unicorn toy here, and I don't know if there's supposed to be a couple of necklaces or armband or some other toys there for playing on the ground like that. There are no posters on this thing, however, so you cannot sit on it. And then we have a parent and child chair, is what this was described as. So it has posters as well. And you can then have poses for the adult and the child, and this one has absolutely beautiful lace work. I'm gonna go really close in here and let you have a look at it. that's really one of the incredible parts about mesh, how you can have this beautiful detailing hold up like this. Very nice. We also have back here a very fancy, I believe this was described as the changing place for the baby. So you've got your little changing board, and you have some I guess baby powder and lotion, and I'm not strictly sure what that's supposed to be, but some wipes and things, everything to clean up your baby. I'm not sure the nice rosy look will help when you in fact do have to clean up a baby. Yes, I'm a little cynical about these things, but it is really pretty. And here my favorite aspect is probably the texturing on the inside here of the doors, which shows that it's beautifully maintained, but this is still aged. There's some cracking, some scratching, so it's a bit worn and very, I guess, shabby chic, I suppose you could call it. We also have a bed, and it did not have poses either, and of course I wouldn't have fit into it. And it is sort of a lacy pink fantasy, very very romantic, and those big ribbons and the way the lace drapes are hanging down. This is very much a princess bed, although I suppose you could possibly have your little prince in it as well. Though if we look over here, the little clothing rack would suggest that it is in fact for a girl. So I suppose this is supposed to be a mirror here. Well, there's just a frame, or maybe for a photo frame. And then you have your little dresses on a hanger, and again you've got this worn wooden texture. So it all goes together very beautifully. And if you were looking to set up like an heirloom baby room, these pieces are absolutely perfect for it, I would say. The only thing that sticks out a little bit for me is that perhaps the rug and the toy look a bit more modern, but then again you could imagine that it is a room set up with these heirloom pieces, and then you've got a toy that, you know, is a bit more modern, or something like that. So I do think this is really prettily made and a great beautifully done for furnishing a child's room. If you have any use for that, and if you had a larger house that you were setting up, you could obviously have this as a room, even if you didn't actually have a virtual child to put in it. And with that, I think we are going to go on and take a look at the other box that came with the November Shadow box, namely the dark version. And I've got that one hidden away behind this door. So we're gonna see what we've got in here. And it is nowhere near as creepy as last week's dark offering, but this is my favorite part of this box, because it is for beautiful pieces for setting up your old attic, which is full of, as we can see, cobwebs, and which has been neglected for ages, and there are probably ghosts up there. Even if it's not done to be particularly creepy, there's always that sense of rummaging through an old attic, and you never know what's gonna happen. So you have a version here of the little poof, and it has kind of a bit of a creepy doll lying across of it. I mean, any discarded doll is going to come across as a bit creepy. And the lace, of course, is worn here and probably eaten up by various animals. This is a very elaborate piece which doesn't have a matching piece in the light version. The stroller, I mean, it's really nicely done, and you kind of it very much has this sort of feeling of something old, abandoned, that you know somebody once used and now it's been put away and forgotten about. There's a version of the bench as well, which definitely has seen better days. There's a box with some things put away. This is socks and baby clothing, and there's these pieces evoke a feeling of nostalgia and sadness. Maybe somebody put these things away after their children were grown up, or maybe if you want to be dramatic and or melodramatic, the child died and the the pretty room out there never got any use and they put things away. You have some old rugs piled up, a broken board, more cobwebs on that, a crib that's been cleaned out. It's just a frame and left here, and I love the dust and the cobwebs that come with it. It really adds something. And then finally you have this massive pile of stuff piled away in the attic. And here you get a little bit of creepiness because something's happened to this portrait. Maybe the paint has just been running, or is there something else that's been going on here? You've got picture frames that are empty, an old vase, old books, an old dresser here. Maybe this is part of another stroller. You can cam around here if I can manage. This little space is tight, and find all sorts of things. I think those are old suitcases, broken pottery, more suitcases. Here, some portraits again. That does look like it's a bit bloody in the background there. So you can maybe find some little creepy bits and pieces too. But this has nothing really specific to do with a child's room as such. You could use this to decorate any attic and really add to the atmosphere of an attic by having a pile of items like this. So certainly I find that these pieces are very atmospheric, and if you want to set up your old haunted house, your old abandoned house, these attic pieces are going to be absolutely perfect for that. And they're not as sort of baby room specific, even if there are a couple of pieces that belong that way. But I really like it. I think the dark box is definitely my favorite this time, simply because I don't do kids in SL. But as usual, the quality of the pieces is excellent, and they're beautifully textured, and the meshes are really well done. So you get some great furnishings, even if they can be a little specific in terms of how you can use them. But since this is sort of setting up pieces for a whole house, some rooms are always going to be more specific than others. So I hope that you feel you've had a good look at this month's shadow box, and as usual, you can order it after the fact. You can order all of the released ones after the fact, and if you get all of the shadow boxes in a series, this is the first series and it's going to be 6 boxes in total, you will be getting a bonus, which I believe they've said is a build of some sort. So that'll be the result once you've collected everything that'll add to the collection. So I thought then I would conclude here with, as I said, taking a bit of a look at what I'm wearing. And first up I think we'll make it easy and go for the gown, which is a coloring option that we're gonna have here. It is the Adeline gown from Sense of Fine. It is from the Trunk Show, which is sort of a wedding focused. So obviously the lace and all of this kind of gives you the idea that this is it could be a wedding gown, or it could be, you know, your bridesmaid gown. And this is the noir version that I'm wearing, which has, it's not quite fully black. It's still sort of, you could wear it for a wedding, I suppose, especially a bit of a period feel. But it also has various lighter colors, so you could go for example for this pure white and look very innocent all of a sudden. There's also this beautiful antique, which is a bit of an off-white, almost a goldy color to it. The blush, as you might expect, has a little bit of a pink tone to it. Goes very well with the decor in this room, I have to say. And then you have Bashful. Let's see what that one looks like. A bit of a stronger lilac, I would call that. A mint for a light green touch. An ice, which is obviously bluish, and sterling, which basically is a lighter silvery feel. I think I'll stick with that one for now. And so it's really prettily done, and you have a number of mesh bodies covered. You have Beleza Freya, Beleza Isis, Maitreya, and both slink bodies. So pretty much anyone can wear this, I would say. This sort of neckline works pretty well even if you're not wearing the right body. The arms, of course, would be an issue if your arms are very different, because even here you'll see that there are positions where your arm will break through the lace, and obviously you cannot alpha out the arms when it's lace. But you can obviously alpha out your lower body and everything to make that work if there are any issues there. But on the whole, I thought the fit was very good for Slink Physique. And the fact that you get some breakage in some arm movements is quite common. The shoulders can be a tricky bit, and I tend to go for fairly wide shoulders and fairly high muscle settings, which can make it trickier. And then we have the hair, which is the group gift from Truth's VIP group for October. And it has, I'll show you two options for this one, because first of all, you have the coloring hood comes with a right and a left side. So you can have it be a two-colored hair. For example, I could go and make the right side white. And create a very different look. I'm not necessarily sure that this hair works very well as a two-colored. It feels a little too kind of elegant, but you have the option. And I'll go back to my same color-y. So regardless of which color HUD you have the option of using dividing it, and then if you have multiple color HUDs, you can actually mix and match. And then of course it also comes with the stylist HUD, which gives you quite a lot of options for this hair. You can have your bangs down like that, or to the other side, or back up like I had it. You can have your hair swing around to show this. You can have your hair like that into ponytails, or you can put them up in two buns, and you can also, all right, that was just the front. You can change the front as well, of course. You could have, here I have both sides. You could go just for one side, the other side, or no side. And if you have no side, then of course you could put it hair down again and have it just like that, which again creates a very different look. Kind of like the mix of it being a little formal and still sort of the pigtails add something else to it. So I'm gonna go back to this style here, which is what I started with. And of course, as you see here, you also have size options for the ones that are in the front, so that you can make sure it works with your dress and your breasts and so on. So more and more hair creators, of course, are doing these stylist hoods these days, and I do think it's a quite nice idea. In particular, I like the fact that often they give you options for bangs or no bangs, because generally I don't want to have bangs, so you get more hairs that have that option. And it's also good being able to turn off things like hair in front if you have a gown that it doesn't work with, or if you have some jewelry that you want to show off. Basically, you get a number of hairs in one go. Obviously, it adds a bit to the mesh cost and everything. I'm pretty lax about those sort of things, probably because I spend most of my time standing around on my own sim and not really lagging up other people's places or being lagged at other people's places. But that was it for this video review. And I hope you feel you've had a good look at the shadow box for November. And I will of course be back with another shadow box next month. And I'm hoping that I'll have something else to do in between. Ideally as another video review. I am eyeing the deco crate for November. I haven't quite made up my mind, but I think I would like to do another deco crate review, and since it is the 1-year anniversary, I may go for that. But we'll see what time I have in the next week. Until then.